She kept the police awake at night. Kolkata's first female serial killer, who was in 1984. She is known as Kolkata's first female serial killer. The chilling story of her crimes remains hidden behind the tragic fate of a Bengali woman. Life, with all its hardships, had dragged her into darkness, and she never found her way back to the light. She had embraced the darkness as part of her life, while Inspector Tarak Babu sat lost in thought. Inspector Priyanath Mukhopadhyay and those around him kept their distance. At this moment, no one dared to disturb Inspector Priyalal Mukherjee. The reason was clear to almost everyone. Despite having a criminal within their grasp, she had managed to slip away. Of course, it wasn't Inspector Babu's fault. He had left no stone unturned in his investigation. But to convict someone of a crime, sufficient evidence is needed, and that was lacking. Through that loophole, like a fish slipping through a net, the culprit escaped. The entire incident still plays before Inspector Babu's eyes. From one perspective, it was a straightforward case, the theft of the Queen's jewelry. But if you describe it that simply, you miss the essence of the case. In reality, Inspector Babu had realized from the very beginning that the roots of this case ran much deeper. Just as cooks can tell the state of the bones by pressing the rice, the details of this case kept astonishing Inspector Babu more and more. Every time he uncovered a new piece of information, he realized that the web of mystery stretched much farther than it seemed. To begin with, the jewelry wasn't stolen from the Queen's house. Instead, an order for the jewelry had been placed at a shop in Burra Bazaar. The arrangement was that a shop employee would deliver the jewelry to the Queen and payment would be made on the spot. After crafting the jewelry, the shop owner would send it with one of his most trusted employees. The employee who went to deliver the jewelry never returned, vanishing under mysterious circumstances. Did that man steal the jewelry and run away, or was he murdered? These were the questions that Mr. Tarak began to ponder. The more he delved into the matter, the more bewildered he became, as if a fever of confusion was rising within him. Neither the jewelry was recovered, nor was any money found. But even more puzzling was the fact that although everyone had heard about the Queen, no one had actually seen her. She had supposedly arrived by car and placed the order, but no one had seen her in person. So, is the story about the Queen placing the order just a fabrication? As the investigation progressed a bit further, another shock awaited them. The body of that employee was found, his throat slit. In other words, he hadn't made the jewelry, he had been After recovering the employee's body, Inspector Priyanath could no longer focus on his household affairs. This was not a petty theft or a son-in-law's mischief, but a premeditated Yet, where the killer was hiding remained a mystery. The deeper he delved, the more new information surfaced. The evidence suggested that a woman was also involved in this. He didn't have to dig up that name. It came up on its own. From the very first time he heard it, the inspector realized he was not dealing with an ordinary crime. It was like a shadow, impossible to catch, only to suspect. Accusations kept pointing toward him, but every time he seemed within reach, he slipped away again, vanishing like mist. Priyanath knew that this man was not alone. Behind him was a powerful network. Sometimes it was fraud, sometimes blackmail, and sometimes even murder. This woman was entangled in it all. From the dark alleys of Sonagachi to the servants of the royal palace, she had dealings with everyone. But in the end, she couldn't withstand the cunning strategies of the police. One after another, her confessions and secretly obtained evidence. All of it combined to finally trap her in the net of the law. Thus, another chapter of crime was written in the pages of history. Bengal's first female serial killer, Trailokya, did not end up hanging from the noose. But the question remains, was she a born criminal, or was it society's neglect, child marriage, and a life pushed into darkness that turned her into a cold-blooded murderer? Is that why today we know her only as Bengal's first serial killer? Inside her was a woman unfulfilled, who never received love, never saw the light, and so she chose darkness as her companion in life.